You're in your head doing these mental gymnastics. You will see women every single day who you want to talk to, but you start negotiating with the fear. Yeah, you start feeding yourself these excuses. What are people going to think of me? Everyone's watching. This is weird. I shouldn't be doing this. And it's like dirty laundry in a dirty tumble dryer. Yeah, so a question that I get asked all the time is, Christian, how do I approach women when there's lots of people watching? All right, because right now, you might not necessarily be scared of approaching. You might be scared of being seen to be approaching, yeah? So you might have decided to come outside one day, you see a woman who you wanted to approach, but rather than walking over there in a confident way, you were up in your head thinking, what if other people see this? What are other people thinking? What if I approach this woman and I get rejected or I get a bad reaction? And then what if other people see this? What if other people see me being rejected? So you might right now have this fear, this universal fear of public humiliation, of feeling like you're embarrassing yourself in public. Because let's be real, walking outside in the middle of the day, walking over to women and giving them shameless, unapologetic compliments, that is going to draw crowds, right? If you're walking down the street and you see a woman and you walk over to her with a big set of balls, that is going to draw attention. But the first thing that I want you to realize is, if a guy sees you approach, he either respects it or he's jealous, okay? Because a lot of guys are up in their heads thinking, oh, but if this guy sees and I'm going to feel bad, or what if this guy sees me being rejected? What I've always found to be true in my own life, and after working with over 200 guys, is if other guys see you approach a woman, a part of them feels this sensation of, they get triggered by it, okay? Because people want to see you do well, they don't want to see you do better than them, because it holds a mirror up to who they could have been. So if a guy sees you approach, he either respects it or he's jealous. Now, if you've got this fear right now of approaching women, but you're scared of what other people are going to think of you, you might be similar to my clients where you're spending a lot of time right now on your own, at home. You're doing a lot of deep cognitive work, and right now you're finding it difficult to switch from work mode to social mode. Yeah, you might be a logical, analytical guy who spends a lot of time behind a screen, a lot of time behind a laptop, a lot of sessions of deep thinking, right? And for you, you might be putting a lot of pressure on yourself right now to go straight from work mode to social mode. So what I would say to you is, before you even go out to approach any women today, get used to being outside, okay? So we're making this video right now in a public space, okay? There's a good amount of people around us, and this would scare the shit out of most men. All right, walking outside in a public area with a camera pointed at my face, this is going to invite the social spotlight. But what I say to my clients is, don't avoid the spotlight. Embrace the spotlight. Okay, you'll see a lot of advice online from guys, and they're like, oh, bro, just don't give a fuck what people think of you. I'm like, oh, that's useful advice, bro. That's as useful as a chocolate tea guard, right? So when guys say don't give a fuck, I think this is bad advice, because you're in your head thinking, yeah, but I do give a fuck. So for me, it's not about eradicating this feeling, okay? It's about embracing it. Yeah, because as human beings, we've got this deep fear, this deep biological fear of being rejected. Like if you were to approach a woman in the caveman days and she was like, no, thank you, it would have meant your DNA wasn't worthy of replication. So we've carried this primitive programming into the modern day. So it's no wonder why you feel anxious. It's no wonder why you feel resistant, because in the caveman days, if a woman rejected you, it would have meant all of the tribe would have known about it. So that public humiliation, that fear of what other people think of you, it's ingrained into your DNA. And that's why I say to my guys, you're not gonna think your way into a confident state. You're gonna act your way through it. So if you're scared right now of approaching a woman in public because you're worried what other people are going to think of you, you need to start spending more time in the real world, yeah? Never be at home. It's so easy in the modern world to just stay in your apartment behind your laptop. Before you know it, you spent consecutive days in a row talking to nobody. I remember I worked with a client of mine one time, and he used to be a cold caller, right? So he used to call people up and have phones slammed down. And he said to me, Christian, what I learned from cold calling is people are not scared of cold calling. They're just scared of calling in general, right? I remember when I was a kid, when I was in my teenage years, I used to be scared of calling up the doctor or the dentist. I don't know what it was. I just had this fear of what the other person on the other end of the phone would think of me. So I used to get my mum to call up the doctor on my behalf. I think that as we go about our daily life, you might even notice it yourself. Like, have you ever been in a supermarket and you couldn't find the baked beans? And rather than just asking the shop assistant, excuse me, where's the beans? You struggled on your own because you were scared. You were scared of the uncertainty. And that's what I found with a lot of the guys who I work with. You might not necessarily be scared of being rejected. It might not be the idea of walking over to a woman that scares the shit out of you. It might be the uncertainty, yeah? You don't know how the approach is gonna go. You don't know if you're gonna get a bad reaction. You don't know if somebody's gonna say something. You don't know how you're gonna feel. And then what happens is you start to see every approach as a make or break situation. You leave your house, you set the intention to do approaches today, but you let opportunity slide. You're in your head doing these mental gymnastics. You will see women every single day who you want to talk to, but you start negotiating with the fear. Yeah, you start feeding yourself these excuses. What are people going to think of me? Everyone's watching. This is weird. I shouldn't be doing this. It's like dirty laundry in a dirty tumble dryer. So never be at home. Start going outside. And before you even do any approaches today, go to a busy part of your city, like I'm doing here, and just walk around, right? Just walk around for 5 minutes. Make eye contact with people who are walking past you. If you truly want to take a sledgehammer to your social anxiety or to your perceived social anxiety, because remember, you don't have social anxiety, you just lack practice. Social anxiety is simply something that you're practicing right now. So the solution to this is start practicing behavior of the most socially confident version of yourself. That means walking outside, making eye contact with strangers. If you want, get your phone out and record a 30-second video of yourself in public. This is going to invite the social spotlight onto you, and that's what we want. Because if you want to liberate yourself, you're going to do this through action. So walk outside, go to a part of your city where there's people. You need to be in the social arena, never be at home. Record a video of yourself, invite the social spotlight, and a slightly strange mindset that I adopt in my everyday life, because I'm no different to you, right? When I wake up in the morning, the last thing that I want to do is walk outside and make videos like this in public, right? I've got that 13-year-old kid inside of me who didn't get the love, the validation, approval that I needed as an infant, right? So when I'm out here, it's almost like it's me versus my lower self. It's me who I used to be. I've got this child inside of me right now who's kicking and screaming. I don't want to be out here. I don't want to be making this video. See, guys meet me today and they think, oh, Christian's got it easy. He's this outgoing, extroverted guy. Social skills came easy to him. I didn't hop out the womb being extroverted. I didn't hop out the womb being #confident. I had severe social anxiety for much of my formative years. I used to break out into these sweating fits at school whenever I got put on the spot to answer questions, because one day in school I put my hand up. I was so confident, I was so sure of getting the question right. I got the question wrong. Even the teacher laughed at me. And from that point, as a young kid, I learned that if I was wrong, then I wouldn't receive validation, I wouldn't receive love. And this is what I found a lot of us, we're trying to resolve unresolved trauma when we're out here, right? You might be going out here and you want to approach women, you want to have an abundant dating life, you want to be able to get the women you know you fucking deserve. But right now, when you're out here, your nervous system is on fire. It's like you're scared of falling behind. You're scared of not being enough. You're trying to manage your finances. You're trying to be confident. You're trying to find love. But when you're out here, it feels like it's you versus your unresolved past, right? And what I found is when I'm out here, I imagine that nobody else is real. Right? It's a way of looking at the world. It's called solipsism, right? It's the understanding that you are only conscious of your own consciousness. You don't know what it's like to be anybody else. Like if you saw a homeless guy today take a shit on the floor, you probably wouldn't feel nervous, right? You just see the homeless guy and think, oh, sucks to be that guy. He's probably got some shit going on in his life. And then you go back to your own thoughts. You go back to your own problems. You go back to your own shit. You don't even give a fuck about the shit that's on the floor anymore. So this is what I'm saying. The level of importance you attach to your own existence is exaggerated, because when people say nobody cares, it's hard to understand that unless you've got an analogy. You see a homeless guy take a shit on the floor today. I remember I was in Amsterdam one day. I was about 6 a.m. in the morning at a heavy night out. I saw this homeless guy stark bollock naked in the middle of the street. People were looking at him. 2 seconds later, they went back to themselves. They went back to think about their own selves, their own problems, and their own lives. So this notion of solipsism, believing, or even just as a thought experiment, imagining that you are the only sentient being on the planet, when you're out here and when you are approaching, I want you to adopt the mindset of you're in main character mode, right? You are the main character of your own movie. All these other people, they're not real. They are NPCs side questing their way through life, and it's your job to activate the NPCs who you want to talk to, ideally women. But this is the whole game right here, because perception's reality. Even if it's not true, we make it true by believing in it. If you've got this fear of the social spotlight right now, I know it sounds weird, and I know it sounds like, well, what does this even mean? But if you can imagine, if you can put yourself into this train of thought that nothing else is real, there are no rules to this game, nobody is real, you are the only sentient being, feel how liberated that feels. If you were truly the only conscious being right now, you can walk out into the world, you can see people who are looking at you. Remember, they're too busy thinking about themselves anyway. They don't give a flying fuck about you. But I think that the most practical thing I can give to you in this video is, if you do want to approach women, but you're scared of what other people think of you, you're probably not scared of the approach, you're probably scared of being seen to be approaching. And the reason why you're scared of being seen is because you're not inviting as much of the spotlight onto you on a daily basis. So walk outside, come to a busy area, record yourself in public, and what I would say is the final thing, I've got a demonstration video. I'll put the video on screen now. If you want to see how I walk over to women in the middle of the day when lots of people are watching without giving a flying fuck, watch the video that's just appeared on screen, and it'll take everything we've learned theoretically in this video and it'll put it into immediate practice.